Okay, Nasai Minasan, today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats, episode 5. I'm gonna talk about every single detail of this episode according to what actually happened in the episode itself, so I don't get confused and you can also follow along as well. So we started off with Tycoon recapping the story once again. I really love how Tycoon is actually the perspective that we are given in this DGP itself. I really love that because it actually makes him more like the main hero rather than our S Ukyo himself, okay? But with that being said, let us move on to Kamen Rider Buffer Michinaga Azuma. He is gonna be the main guy that we're gonna focus for the next few episodes, and it is gonna be super duper lit. And not gonna lie, the way they actually show Buffer past, Azuma past, it is insane. The director is crazy. The way they set up the shot of how Azuma and his friend is like talking to one another, walking to the van, unloading themselves, and suddenly out of nowhere we actually realize that, hey, that is not the reality. That is actually just Buffer thinking about the past itself. That is so good. I love that scene. It actually helps me to realize a few things very quickly, very immediately. And that is, firstly, Azuma really cares for this friend called Toru, and this friend actually have a desire to change the world, to build like a landmark on his hometown, something like that. And it also set up that Azuma himself doesn't actually have any desire before his friend actually passed away. With this simple flashback scene, 3 things has been successfully established very quickly. That is really amazing, okay? And it also helped to set up the anger of Azuma. It is so good. But with that being said, let me move on to the title of the episode itself. It is chance meeting dual concentration. Okay, so we are continuing the title of chance meeting, and this is definitely gonna be the first arc in Kamen Rider Geats, and that is gonna be focusing on introducing character. And the reason why it is called chance meeting is because in episode 2 we actually get to see Nago and S actually meeting up with one another, and then in episode 5 we actually get to see S and Buffer actually meeting one another outside of the DGP area itself. So this is what I would assume why do they actually call it chance meeting. Okay, very amazing stuff here. And if we actually get to see like Nago and Buffer, both of them are gonna stay until the very ending, it is gonna be really amazing. But what about Tycoon? Okay, like how does Tycoon actually fit in all of this? I do not know. Very interesting stuff. But both of them was definitely approached by S in a way. Okay, so it is, whether or not it is intentional, we still do not know. Like why S is doing all of this thing, we also do not know. Okay, we need to learn more about all of this after the first arc finish, after the chance meeting actually ended. Okay, really amazing stuff here. But the next thing we need to talk about is how S Ukyo actually treats Azuma like a boo, like a full-on boo. Okay, the way S keep on mentioning Azuma, be like, hey, you are like a boo, like why are you like angry towards me today? Why are you particularly hostile towards me? Is it because I wear red? Holy shit, that is so what a great burn from S Ukyo at that moment. I really love that burn. I really enjoy it. But we also learned that in this episode that Buffer actually have a specific special anger towards S Ukyo himself. We are not so sure why, but my speculation is that when the friend is actually kind of like having difficulty fighting with the Jyamato, Azuma is actually there. He was trapped in the area as well, and he actually saw that S is also nearby, and maybe like Azuma actually screamed like, hey, help my friend, my friend needs help. Or maybe the friend himself is the one is screaming for help, hey, help me. But S just didn't give a shit at all. Like S doesn't care at all about his friend, and that is why we actually get to see Azuma being super duper angry towards S, because when he needed him the most, he like the S didn't care about his cry for help at all. Okay, and we also learned that his friend was definitely sabotaged by other rider, and one of the rider that actually sabotaged his friend turns out to be one of the elephant rider. Okay, based on what I see, like the helmet shape, it definitely looks a little bit like the elephant. Okay, because we actually got quite a big ear lobe, something like that. We are not sure what is it, but I just assume that it is one of the elephant rider that we saw. Maybe in the future we're gonna see them making a return, and this is where I'm gonna jump into theory time. Okay, theory time. How the hell, like, what is gonna be the future of Kamen Rider Geats? What is gonna be the thing that is gonna happen next? I felt like maybe halfway through the series we are definitely gonna see the war ends and renew once again. Means someone would actually win the DGP before the finale of Kamen Rider Geats. So we're gonna have at least 2 DGP run in this entire series, and the reason why I say this is because we actually knows how Yuya Takahashi write his story. In Kamen Rider XZ, he's actually set up that in the first episode, ever since like the first half of the series, we heard about Kamen Rider Chronicle over and over again, and then on the second half of Kamen Rider XZ, we actually get to see Kamen Rider Chronicle actually happening, and they are actively playing Kamen Rider Chronicle in the second half of the series. And even in 01, in the beginning, we actually set up the plot that, hey, we want to stop Arc from getting resurrected, and by the second half Arc, we actually get to see Arc actually gets resurrected. That is so insane. So when I say DGP is gonna end once before the finale, it is definitely gonna happen, and that is where my biggest theory is gonna come in, which is Buffa is gonna be the winner of this round DGP. Okay, like everything that he has been learning over the few games that he joined, and how he actually see as Ukiyo, something like that, and his anger towards S Ukiyo actually helps him to grow as a character, maybe something like that. It actually causes him to win the DGP rather than S winning the DGP itself. Okay, and the wishes that Buffa is gonna wish for when he won the DGP this round is he is gonna wish for the resurrection of all the previous rider, and this actually accomplished 2 things. First of all, it is gonna resurrect his friend, because his friend is one of the past rider itself. And the second thing he can actually accomplish is that he can actually take revenge on the rider that sabotaged his friend. Okay, so he's gonna take down the other rider as well. So it is gonna be really amazing, but that is just my theory. Okay, let me know in the comment section below, what is your theory? What do you think of this theory? I love like theory crafting with all of you, so feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and we are definitely gonna talk about it. Okay, and speaking of Yuya Takahashi writing skill and writing style, one thing that I really enjoy, and one thing that I really see Yuya Takahashi improving over the time, is how he actually write dialogues in the Kamen Rider show itself. In Kamen Rider XZ, there is one thing that I really don't like, is how in every single dialogue itself, I feel like we are being force-fed the catchphrase of the rider itself. Like, holy shit, throughout the entire series of Kamen Rider XZ, I felt like every single episode, I'm gonna hear the catchphrase of the rider in one form or another. Okay, like if they actually talk about it, like how do I say, how Den or like Momotaro always talk about, like when he henshin for like Saisho Kara, Climax da, or Ore Sanjo, all of that stuff, it is okay, it is cool. But when Brave talk about there's nothing that I cannot cut, that is way too over the top. Okay, but that is not kind of like a thing, a problem that only XZ actually have. Like even in Kamen Rider W, the best series of Kamen Rider that you ever existed, also have the same problem because we always hear one stupid catchphrase by Terry Ryu. It's like, don't ask me question, okay? Like any stupid thing, like out of nowhere, he's gonna answer that. Don't ask me question, don't ask me question, don't ask me question. That is like so annoying, okay? But I just wanna let out my frustration a little bit. I mean, like Yuya Takahashi actually improved on this quite a lot in 01 and actually make it like even though like we still get to hear Aruto Janaito quite a lot, but it is only at the very end of the episode after something happened and after everything ended and we only hear Aruto Janaito, and that is part of Aruto's character for that he will actually keep on saying that specific line, and it is not kind of like a thing that was being forced, okay? So that one is like really good. But in Kamen Rider Geats, we don't actually get to hear even Geats catchphrase, okay? We don't even get to hear quite a lot of Geats saying that from here on out it is the highlight, something like that. We don't actually get to hear him say that a lot. We only hear him say that maybe 3 times of 5 episodes, so that is really good, okay? Really good stuff. But with that being said, let me move on to the DGP right now. The DGP, this round, they are playing a dual trump game, okay? I'm not so sure what is the official name of the game itself, but I'm just gonna call it the dual trump game. Basically, how to gain point, it is that you need to kill the 2 same symbol of Jyamato in order to gain points, and the best way to actually do this is to work together with your teammate, okay? But then again, the problem comes, Buffa is not a team player. He's just gonna do everything himself, so that is gonna be really sad, okay? But then again, at the same time, we need to talk about the biggest Nani the F stuff in that actually was revealed in the dual trump game, and that is the lower scoring team is gonna get retired. So that means we are at least gonna get 2. We at least are gonna get 2 rider getting retired after this few episodes. That is insane. But the biggest question now is who is gonna get retired, because at first I thought that Mary and Pangjet is gonna get retired, but after what happened at the very end of this episode, I am not sure, man. I'm really really sure if Mary and Buffa somehow survive, and the last team is gonna end up being Tycoon and Pangjet, okay? So if Tycoon and Pangjet being the end of this of the round, that means Tycoon is gonna get retired, okay? So what happens after Tycoon got retired? How is he gonna come back into the series? How is he gonna use the ninja rice buckle, having his awesome ninja form? How is that even possible, okay? Because I felt like there is definitely gonna be a lot of big Nani the F moment happening in the next episode. But I just want to entertain the idea here a little bit, okay? Just entertain me. What if Tycoon actually so-called like died or got retired in this episode after this arc? How is he gonna come back into the series, like in a logical sense, okay? So I actually have an idea, which is Christmas. One tradition in Christmas for Kamen Rider is that every single Kamen Riders, most of the Kamen Rider series, especially written by Yuya, is like he really loved to kill character during the Christmas event itself, okay? But what if this time he switched it up? Rather than killing a character in the series, he resurrect a rider from the series itself, because we know from the magazine, from magazine, okay, we know that there is gonna be a Merry Christmas rice buckle. So maybe at the end of the day, the Merry Christmas rice buckle is gonna allow the user to resurrect one of the rider itself, okay, like by their own choosing, maybe, or maybe by lucky draw. And we know Tycoon is super duper lucky, so maybe that is how he actually comes back to life once again, okay? So that is just my theory. I'm just trying to make sense of this entire thing. But there is also another possibility on how this round of dual trump game is gonna end, which is everyone is gonna get the same exact point, okay? So if everyone ties, then no one is lowest point, then no one actually gets retired. But this is very, very sus, because one thing with that we do not know is how many Jyamato actually got killed by S and Nago. I felt like they only killed one pair of Jyamato, earning them 200 points, and there are only 6 other Jyamato out there. So no matter what, there's gonna be the first team, and then if they really want to tally it up, then the lower team needs to at least get a single kill or a double kill. They can kill 4, like two pairs for 2 teams, and then the S and Nago is gonna kill 2 more pairs, so S and Nago is gonna get 600 points, and then the rest of the other 2 teams is gonna get 400 points. So that is gonna have kind of like a tie underneath. So maybe that is how we are gonna see that how no one actually got retired at the end of the game, okay? But we still do not know how is this possible and how is this gonna happen. We only can actually find out in the next episode, because next episode it is gonna be the boost turnover. How crazy is that, okay? But before we talk about that, we need to talk about the final thing that I'm really excited to talk about, and that is Kamen Rider Punk Jack. I mean, like, throughout the entire review series, like, do you think that I'm not gonna talk about the most interesting thing that has been introduced in the episode itself? Kamen Rider Punk Jack turns out to be one of the staff of the DGP, okay? Based on what Sumori said, he is some of the behind the scenes stuff, so he's not allowed to show his face, he's not allowed to talk, he's not allowed to do anything at all. But what if Kamen Rider Punk Jack is actually one of the past failed riders? Because in the previous episode, we actually learned that when a rider got kind of like deemed not worthy to become a Kamen Rider, they are gonna get retired from the DGP, and the color that they got deleted is different from the way that when a rider actually died. When a rider died, it actually become red color data, but when Dapan got kind of like deleted, in a sense, he actually became kind of like a blue data, something like that, okay? So maybe Punk Jack is one of the failed rider in the past, so this could actually make sense, okay? So really amazing stuff. I really enjoy this episode that we actually get to see of Punk Jack. Hopefully we're gonna learn more about who this guy actually is, maybe whether or not he is gonna stay beyond the dual trump game. We're gonna find out, okay? Because he's just a staff, he's not gonna participate as a permanent rider moving forward, okay? So he's just gonna replace, like, when there is a lack of rider, something like that. So really interesting stuff. But we actually get to see how Sumori take out a deck of cards to actually draw out Kamen Rider Punk Jack, and that actually leads me to think that maybe we're gonna get to see like at least 50 riders, okay? So it is really crazy stuff there. But with that being said, like I said, next episode we're gonna see Mary deciding to switch the partner to become Buffa and Mary one team, and Tycoon and Punk Jack become one team, and that is how we are gonna have the death of Tycoon and Punk Jack together, okay? That is just my theory. Whether or not it's gonna happen is another story. But there is also another really interesting fact that I felt like a lot of people actually mislook, is that the scores actually belongs to the individual. So even changing team, it don't really matter, okay? So if everyone tie, then it might not be possible. But I really feel like Mary could actually get a 0 point, okay? So because one thing that we know is that Buffa is gonna get the boost rise buckle in the next episode. So one thing Buffa would definitely do, having the boost buckle, is that he can use the speed of boost to kill 2 Jyamato with the same symbol at a time. That means Buffa himself is gonna get 200 points, and it is not gonna be 100 each, 100 for Buffa and 100 for Mary, and that is gonna be the death of Mary in a sense. And then Tycoon and Punk Jack is gonna find a way to kill a Jyamato together. I do not know how, but it is definitely really interesting. Finally, I just want to talk about how S actually purposefully approached Azuma once again at the end of the episode and asked him, how are you gonna use the changing partner card, something like that. And this actually leads me to think that maybe like all the encounter that S is actually doing right now, meeting the rider outside of DGP, is intentional. He meets with Nago in episode 3, and now we actually get to see how do I say, S meeting up with Buffa in episode 5, trying to get to know him, something like that. So I think all of this happen is all according to all according to S Ukyo's plan. Okay, what is his plan? We do not know, but that is all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what you see here and you want to discuss more, you know what to do. Comment in the comment section below, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Goodbye.